Got me a new style bar. Yeah, it's a good looking bar. Paid about 80 bucks for it on eBay. This one was powder coated black. The welds on mine are nice. Everything looks good for the money. And I thought we'd do a little quick install on this bar. It takes a little bit of time, not bad. The first thing I'll have to do is remove these covers, these little snap-on covers from your chassis stabilizer if you have that, on top of the seatbelt towers, and then of course pull the cap off of the seatbelt so you can get at these bolts, and then let's get started. Here we go. Yeah, so we won't be using this bar anymore, so that comes out. The bar I got, of course, had no nuts and bolts at all, so I had to go searching. A nylon lock nut works really good because you don't want to have to get in there and tighten that back up, that's for sure. They were a little tight, so I used a small breaker bar. Get them all loose there, and before you know it, we had them all out. Pretty easy process. Just have to give yourself an hour or two. And here comes the bar. Take a look at it just to give you an idea of what it is. It keeps the chassis a little more stable, I think. It was something they added on and middle years on those NAs. And there's a couple of bolts and a plug that comes out of there. I kind of faked that. I had to, I already had them out, so yeah, I took those out. And a screw on the top, that's a cover. And that once that cover comes off, as you'll see here, pop the cover off, and yeah, now that holds the panel on at the top, and it also holds the little weather stripping in at the door. Here you'll see, comes out real easy. It's not glued or anything. Here it comes, and just pull it out as far as you can down towards the bottom, and then you can kind of wiggle that out. There is a couple of metal clips. Here's a picture of them here up close. Inside there, you'll have to snap them out. Be careful you don't break them, especially if the car is old like this one. And once you get those out, you can kind of wiggle the cover out. And then the seat belt has a little plastic insert. You pop that out. Here we go. Just kind of pops out real easy. Pops out real easy, I said. Yeah. And then you turn your seat belt sideways and it comes out of that little slot. Here it comes. And you've got yourself a panel that's free. You're going to have to cut some notches out of the top. I'll show a picture of that later. And there's your seat belt. But you have to carve some of that out to make the bar fit. Okay, I faked loosening these bolts too, it looks like. So you got a small 10 millimeter head on top. And I think there's like, I don't know, a 17 on the bottom. Take those out. And yeah, I loosened that up. So yeah, take those out. Get your seatbelt out of the way. And you can get at these bolts inside through that box. Let me put the bar on there. The bar came with a couple of bolts sticking out on the bottom there. And like I said, they go into one of those holes that's already existing. And you'll need to get at it. I had to put a spacer in there to raise the roof up so I could get my hand down in there. Put those bolts in. I didn't get a copy of me tightening those up, but yeah, those go in with those little, get yourself a nylock nut or a good lock washer. And here I am putting the nut on the top, the vertical bolt that came with the bar. You'll need, of course, an extension and a deep socket. Put that on. And then I cut my spacers, my little Harbor Freight saw there. Cut them off, and just used half of one of them for each side. That put the seatbelt down lower. You don't have a big gap there. It looks kind of bad with a big thick spacer. So there's down nice and low there where it still swivels a little bit, and then so you got a little space there, and snap the cover back on, and it hides all your trims that you had to do to your panel. So there you go. Ready to rock. Now the other side is the same thing. Here it is where I had to trim it. On the other side I showed that. There's a picture of it about where you cut out. You'll see it. I mean, you're on your own there. And leave a little bit for that other piece, that seatbelt insert, to snap in. Just leave a little bit of that, so that'll still snap in right there. And if you don't get it cut around the edges enough, the panel won't snap in properly. Found that out. So that's kind of a half-assed job, but it looks good. And you'd never tell unless you got in there with a flashlight and checked it out. Boy, check it out. Looking good. It's a nice looking bar. I'm sure if I rolled over and go forward or backwards, it would probably just fold over until it had some other bars. Well, there it is, all finished up. Everything put back in. There's the bar. Paid $80 for that thing. Looks good. There she is. I like it, but I don't race the car. It's just for looks. And it's pretty. It's definitely worth the money.